Ancient Egypt, a civilization that emerged around 3000 BC along the Nile River, is renowned for its grand pyramids and powerful pharaohs. The pharaohs ruled as both kings and gods, overseeing a society deeply connected to religion and the afterlife. After centuries of prosperity, Egypt faced natural disasters, internal strife, and invasions by the Persians, Greeks, and Romans, leading to its eventual downfall and absorption into other empires. The Roman Empire, which once stretched across Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East, collapsed in the 5th century AD. Its fall was caused by a combination of internal corruption, military defeats, economic decline, and invasions by barbarian tribes. The fall of Rome marked the beginning of the Dark Ages in Europe, a period of cultural and economic deterioration that lasted for centuries. The Industrial Revolution, beginning in the 18th century, transformed the world from an agrarian society to one driven by machines and mass production. Originating in Britain, it saw the rise of factories, the use of steam engines, and advancements in transportation. While it revolutionized industries and economies, it also led to harsh working conditions, urban overcrowding, and significant environmental changes. The Industrial Revolution, beginning in the 18th century, transformed the world from an agrarian society to one driven by machines and mass production. Originating in Britain, it saw the rise of factories, the use of steam engines, and advancements in transportation. While it revolutionized industries and economies, it also led to harsh working conditions, urban overcrowding, and significant environmental changes. The French Revolution, which began in 1789, shook the foundations of European monarchy. Sparked by economic hardship, inequality, and resentment against King Louis XVI, the revolution led to the abolition of the monarchy, the rise of democracy, and the eventual ascent of Napoleon Bonaparte. Its impact was felt across Europe and the world, inspiring future revolutions and changes in governance. The American Civil War, fought between 1861 and 1865, was a defining moment in U.S. history. The conflict arose over deep divisions regarding slavery and states' rights, pitting the Northern Union states against the Southern Confederacy. Led by President Abraham Lincoln, the North's victory preserved the Union and ended slavery. But the war remains one of the bloodiest conflicts in American history. The Renaissance, spanning from the 14th to the 17th century, was a period of cultural rebirth in Europe, beginning in Italy. It marked a revival of classical knowledge and an explosion of creativity in art, science, and literature. Figures like Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, and Galileo pushed the boundaries of human achievement, paving the way for the modern world through the spread of humanism and intellectual exploration. On November 9, 1989, the Berlin Wall fell, symbolizing the end of the Cold War and the reunification of Germany. Erected in 1961 to divide East and West Berlin, the wall became a powerful symbol of the ideological divide between the Soviet-controlled East and the democratic West. The wall's collapse was driven by growing revolutionary movements across Eastern Europe and marked a turning point in the global political landscape. The Black Death, or Plague, ravaged Europe between 1347 and 1351, killing approximately 25 million people. This deadly pandemic, spread by fleas carried on rats, wiped out a third of Europe's population and had profound social, economic, and religious impacts. It disrupted feudal society, increased demand for labor, and triggered widespread changes that reshaped medieval Europe. During the Cold War, the space race between the USA and the USSR became a key battleground for technological supremacy. The competition began when the Soviet Union launched Sputnik, the first artificial satellite, in 1957. It culminated in 1969 when NASA's Apollo 11 mission successfully landed Neil Armstrong on the Moon, marking the USA's victory in the race and heralding a new era of space exploration. On August 15, 1947, India gained independence from British colonial rule after nearly 200 years of subjugation. Led by Mahatma Gandhi's non-violent resistance movement and the political efforts of the Indian National Congress, British rule ended, but the subcontinent was partitioned into India and Pakistan. This division resulted in mass migrations, religious violence, and deep-rooted tensions between the two newly formed nations.